Oh, man, I hate Mondays.
Nah, man, it's Tuesday.
Wait. What day is it?
You know what day it is. Tuesday. Brewsday Tuesday.
Oh, fuck yeah! Oh, we're gonna get our hops on, It's Brewsday Tuesday with Drez and Huck.
Yeah. Do you do the tap? I tap on the top of my cans.
I never tap them. I just open them. Now, if I drop one, I'll tap it.
I think it's force of habit. Like, I remember back in elementary school or something, supposedly if it was shooken up, you tap on it, it'll, like, chill it down.
You drinking beer in elementary school? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we were throwing them back. No, like, I'm talking more about, recess, like, the grape sodas that we were drinking back
recess,
then.
Hey, let's get a beer.
Let's get a cold one. But no, supposedly, you know, like, if it gets shooken up, if you tap it, it's supposed to chill it out. But I think I remember hearing since then that's really not true.
I never
saw it. But I still kind of do it just out of force of habit, I think.
We would do it when we dropped one on the floor or it fell out of the back of the pickup truck. Then we would tap on the top, but I don't really think it helps. Of course, we were probably tapping it with like a hammer.
Oh, that definitely helps. Okay, I digress. It is Brewsday Tuesday. My name is Drez, and as always, on Tuesdays, Huck is in from hucksbeerbuzz.com. How you doing today, bro?
I'm good. You know, still a little hungover the weekend. It gets up to 3 days now. You never know.
It happens, man. Now that we're into this perfect day drinking weather.
I'm telling you, you got in the sun, a few beers.
Oh, man. It'll do it to you.
So while you were in Mississippi, I went to it's like a private beer show for restaurants. It's sponsored by AB InBev. Anheuser-Busch InBev. And I really, I don't like to go too many weird places, but I just want to talk a little bit about what I saw and how I felt about it.
Well, let's talk about the beer that we just popped first, and then we can delve into that. What'd you bring from this little conference?
They had all the brewers they distribute and some brewers they own, but this is a brewer they distribute.
All right, distributed by InBev.
And they're out of Baltimore.
Okay.
And I'm a big fan of Baltimore beer, but this place is never open when I'm there. And I told them, so they gave me some beer that we could drink and try.
Union Craft Brewing.
And they small brewery, new brewery, relatively new.
In the grand scheme of brewing.
In Baltimore, and I said something about, well, I never see you guys out. And they said, that's because we're making all the beer we can make. So apparently it's doing pretty well. And you remember back on Groundhog Day, we had an alt beer.
Yes.
I thought we'd give alt beer another chance.
Another alt beer, okay.
Cheers.
So we'll cheers to this. So this is the Balt Alt beer is what it's called from...
I'm just going to call it Balt beer. Then.
Balt beer, yeah.
Balt beer. Balt Alt beer. So...
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm thinking alt beer might not be a style we love.
Well, it's just that it's so hot out.
It is.
This is a heavier kind of a beer to drink on on a day that's like this, like it has been. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's really malty, but it still has like a little strange little twist.
Yeah, if memory serves, I wasn't the hugest fan of that Groundhog beer, that alt beer. So maybe alt beers just aren't for me, but there's something about what is it? What is exactly an alt beer?
And, I was reading up on it just moments ago, and it's like it comes from where it's made. It's one of these German beers that they say it's a style of beer brewed in the historical region of Westphalia and the city of Dusseldorf, Germany.
Dusseldorf.
Its name comes from it being top fermented, an older method than the bottom fermentation of other lagered beers. So it's a top fermented lager.
Which usually when it's a top fermented,
it's a ale.
That makes it an ale.
Yeah, but it's got Munich malts.
He knows what he's talking about. This is a guy who knows what he's talking about.
Good stuff. So that kind of explains the taste, because I don't like ales generally that are fermented in lager yeast, which happens occasionally because people don't like to mix up their yeast. If they make both, they'll sometimes use the lager. You can use the lager yeast on an ale, but you can't really use the ale yeast on a lager. And so it gives a different flavor profile. That's easy for me to say.
There you go. Have another one.
I think I need another one after the weekend. Coming back, I'm feeling better. It's a miracle.
But okay, cool. So I was in Jackson, Mississippi last weekend. So I brought the Jackson beers, and you were out doing this whole tell me a little bit more about this InBev little conference thing you went to.
Well, it was a food show and beer show, and they had beer and food, and they were pairing them and telling you how to make the food and where to get the beer. And InBev distributes a lot of beer for a lot of people, and up until 3 years ago, that was pretty cool. Then all of a sudden they started buying breweries. So now what's the deal? Now, The thing I noticed when they started buying breweries was that they went from 3/4 of the shelf in the grocery store of InBev products, and then a quarter of the shelf of the grocery store of free, what I call freewheeling breweries that were not owned. They were craft breweries making their own beer, and they had like a quarter. Well, now because guys can go in, the distributor can go in and say, well, I got craft beer now, so you don't have to get this other stuff. So it's an easy path of least resistance for a busy manager. I understand that. So they come in, and now they've got. So the point is, like, if we get this beer here, this Balt beer, we probably won't get it here. But if they were making enough to distribute to Virginia, must be good.
It's not bad. Then
we might not get this flavor. If you look at, like, they just bought, for example, Devil's Backbone, and they always had the Vienna Lager on the shelf. Mm-hmm. So I expect we're going to see other of their beers on the shelf now. Mm-hmm. You always saw the Vienna Lager, even in the littlest convenience store in the middle of nowhere. And I think that was a precursor to the purchase. But in any case, you're going to you don't see all the beers. And the next beer is a better example of that issue. But I'm seeing that they're kind of pushing out some of the beers that we might want to get because they make it easy, and that's business.
So what you're saying is now that the big guys are buying up the little guys,
right?
Distribution, obviously there'll be more of it, but you'll see more of a variety is what you're trying to say.
No, I'm saying you see less of a variety.
Less of a variety.
Because you're only going to have what the big boys own. And maybe a couple token beers.
No, I'm not saying less of a variety at the grocery store, but I'm saying more of a variety of the beer that got bought up of that.
Yeah,
like Devil's Backbone, like you said, we would only see Vienna Lager because that's their staple, that's their go-to, that's what they're pushing everywhere.
So now we'll see more of those beers, but we're not going to see a lot. We're not going to see every beer on a small brewery that we might have normally seen. If somebody decided to carry, Union beer, then they would say, hey, we want to carry Union beer, give us 5 kinds. But now they're going to say, well, we want to carry Union beer, and they're going to say, well, it'd probably be most effective to carry the best one, and this is the one we think is the best because it sells the best, or they're making the most of it, and that's the one you're going to get. So it's become away from a beer lover choosing the beer to
listening to an
industrialist choosing the beer.
Yeah.
Marketing guys now choosing the beer. Mm-hmm. Okay, you need the beer that we have the most of. You need the beer that we were slow on this month.
They were pushing hard.
We're pushing hard.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. That's the problem I see with it. On the opposite side, the distribution chain is going to be much cleaner for the craft beer because now it's going to be in a refrigerated truck because they can afford to do that and it's not going to break down. They have more than one truck.
So the craft beer that you are getting will probably taste better.
Will probably be better. It's going to be fresher. It's going to be better. It's just going to be more middle of the road. Mm-hmm. Would be my guess. Mm-hmm. We're not going to see. And I went out yesterday and I bought 6 beers, a mixed 6-pack at a specialty beer store, just not even checking. And not one of them was a new beer, and I only remembered drinking one of the 6. So it's at the point in my beer drinking career that it's difficult to find a new beer. Mm-hmm. And I'm afraid it's going to become more difficult. So that's what my wine for the day is. Would you like some cheese with that?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm assuming I can tell, I would imagine, from your concerns and from your take on the big guys, that you're not a big fan of them buying up the craft beer scene. Even though it will be a bigger distribution for the craft beer and get their beer out there further.
I can't fault those guys.
Oh no, you can't.
I coined a word. It's a
Beeronaires.
Beeronaires. They are creating beeronaires, and I can't fault them for that. If somebody want to come up to me and say, "Hey, Huck, we think you got a great, have a great radio show, and we're going to give you $2 million to buy it," we would be like, "Yeah, we're rolling over. Yeah, no problem."
It's the equivalent of obviously not these days with with music the way it is, but going from a small label to signing with a big record deal. Yeah,
Sun
you're
Records,
selling out, but hey, it's getting your music out there.
65 Sun Records comes to you and says, "I want you to be in my album." Yeah, you're going because they're gonna buy you a Cadillac and you're ready to go. And I understand that, and I'm not really against it. I think people should be able to do what they want. The criticisms I've heard, and I have no real evidence or proof of, is that the people who own InBev, the ultimate owners, are out of Brazil, and they're cost cutters. Now, I did hear a person, I can't really say who it was, who works for them say, well, we made a mistake with Goose Island. We're not going to do that with Devil's Backbone, and we're not going to do that with these other companies.
Made a mistake in what way?
They made the beer elsewhere. They went away. They made the beer in their factories.
Mm-hmm.
And so they said...
So, like, let's get the recipe, we'll produce it.
Right, correct.
And it didn't go well.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's better or worse. I think you need to do a blind tasting to tell that, and I don't think anybody really... you go to the Great American Beer Festival, that's what they're doing. They should do that with those beers. When you say something's not craft or not right, put it in front of the judges. Mm-hmm. Don't tell them what it is and have them judge it. So, I don't know. I think the jury's still out on that. But, yes, they said, the word on the street is that we made a mistake, and these ones we're buying now we're going to try to keep intact.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Well, we can delve into this a little more, but for the meantime, let's go ahead and untap this Balt Alt beer from Union Craft Brewing. We do use the Untapped app. Pretty handy if you're a beer drinker. I recommend it. You can download it for free. You can follow Huck's Beer Buzz on there. You can follow Drez Drinks. That's my handle. We rate a beer from basically 0 to 5 and in a 0.25 rating. Man, go ahead and take us away. Huck, what do you think of the...
You can actually follow us and get your phone will give you notifications when you drink. And actually, I got a new phone, and I turned it on Saturday, and about 2 a.m., Drez was drinking a lot of... No, never.
Was it? I was just... You made me think. I'm like, was I drinking at 2 a.m. on Saturday? Yeah, I might have been.
Yeah, it was kind of late. It might have been 10. I'm an old guy. But anyway, so I think this beer, it's growing on me a little bit. I like the kind of crisp into it. It's really malty, but instead of being like thick on my tongue at the end, it's just kind of clean my palate a little bit, I think. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna give this since it's their first beer, and I did speak to the brewer.
Bump it up a little bit.
I'm gonna give it a 4.
A 4?
I'm comfortable with that. I think you would like this beer. If you like this style of beer, you should go out and get one.
Yeah, the alt beer. I will be honest with you, and this is why I'm a big advocate of not ranking a beer just after a sip or two, because I know you say 1 ounce is what they base a tasting test or whatever. I'm liking this beer as I drink it down. Like, the further I'm getting into it, the better I like it. At the first sip, I probably would have given it maybe a 3. But now that I've had a few more, it's starting to grow on me a little bit better. It's not hitting me as hard as it was. I'm getting a little bit more used to it. It's got some great flavors to it. I like the color. It's pretty nice. Like I said, with the atmosphere that it is, you kind of want something a little lighter. Just right now, with it being a beautiful day and the sun shining and it being hot out, this isn't one you're not going to want to just chug to cool yourself down or anything. But it's pretty damn good beer, man. I'll give the Balt Alt beer a 3.5.
There you go.
3.5 for sure. All right, there you go. That's our review of the Balt Alt beer from Union Craft Brewing. We'll take a second to play a tune, and we'll be back. You got another brew that we can untap here after this?
I do. I have another one.
All right, we'll see what's up in store for us. Brewsday Tuesday, round 2 coming up in just a few.